Okay, I fucked up and I had to restart it. Hi, Ace.
He's trying to get you on Instagram.
People.
And I fucked it up.
He's trying to get you on Instagram on your way in.
What time did you get here? We didn't know you were here earlier. We would have had you
I've
come
been
in
waiting
earlier.
around a little, but that's okay.
They didn't tell us.
I'd wait an hour for you guys.
Well, thank you.
That's very nice. Jim would never
when
have
did
you
Wonder
wait.
Woman come out?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You mean
Hell out of
the
it.
movie or the comic? Like originally?
Was it last year or this year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite movie.
Did you like it?
I watch it all the time.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Do you like her better than Linda Carter? Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Come on.
You do?
Put on some glasses.
She is a looker, that Gal Gadot.
But does she have breasts like Linda Carter? Linda Carter had very heavy breasts.
No, Gal Gadot has more of an athletic build.
She does.
Yeah, I think so.
Her body is very evenly proportioned.
Well,
Yeah.
Are you a big superhero guy?
I've never watched the Supergirl. Isn't that just a TV show, not a film?
No, a superhero movie. Like, do you like superhero movies? Supergirl, I never saw either. Superhero movies. Like, Batman, do you like that
yeah.
shit?
Thor and all. Yeah, I was just watching Doctor Strange on the plane from San Diego to JFK.
Is it good?
I've seen it a few times. But
You were
every
rewatching
time
Doctor
you watch
Strange.
a movie over and over again, you catch something you didn't catch the first time.
Wasn't there something we were talking about the Avengers? The last you saw, I'm sure you saw the last
I
Avengers
should
movie.
put headphones on, shouldn't
You
I?
should.
So I
Yeah,
can
you
hear
should.
because I'm deaf.
That's okay. I mean, you've earned your hearing problems. You've seen. I'm sure you've seen the newest Avengers movie, right? With the
Yes.
turning everybody into dust and whatnot. Wasn't it frustrating?
Infinity War.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it. Wasn't it frustrating that you go through the whole movie? It's 2.5 hours, and you just get to the part where it's like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, and that's the end of the movie.
No, didn't they all die at the end?
Well, yeah, but they
I
didn't.
didn't see it. Thanks, Ace.
What do you just watch porn? Is that it?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but you kind of know some of them are gonna come back. Like it's such a part one that for me, I was like, I'm ready for part two. Now you're gonna make me wait a year for this.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's
know?
what they do.
They do.
I've never seen it. I don't really like superhero movies. I just don't enjoy them.
Don't let Ace hear you say that.
Aren't you a Kiss fan? We're all superheroes.
Yes, but that's where it begins and ends with me.
Okay.
Is Kiss. You're the only superheroes I like.
Yeah, that's the issue. That Jim watches these superhero movies and he goes, "They're not as cool as Kiss are." That's who cares?
How mad was Peter that they dubbed over his... Didn't they dub over his voice in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park?
They dubbed over it, yes.
Was it because he was a bad actor, or did he say something they didn't like?
Acting had nothing to do with it. It was just the quality of his voice. Maybe his Brooklyn accent they thought was a little too much. I mean, I have the Bronx accent, but it's getting better because I've been living in California for 10 years.
Did
So
they
they
tell him they were going to do that or no?
No, they blindsided him. And I know what that's like because, way back when I was working with Kiss, they changed one or two solos of mine and had another guitar player come in.
What was it? Was it for Detroit Rock City? Did they do that on?
No.
What did they do that on? What songs?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to forget about it.
Did you know, like, as soon as you hear something like that, do you know that's not me playing?
Oh, I knew immediately. But, if they were gentlemen, they would have informed me prior to me hearing the final version.
What was their reasoning for it? Like, did they tell you a reason that they thought was acceptable?
I think when they re-released Dynasty, they actually put in the old solo. There was nothing wrong with it. Maybe they felt it could have been better. I don't know. I think they did it to punish me because I was always late.
Did you stop being late after that?
No. I stopped being late after I got sober.
I see.
Oh, is
Now-
that why you were late? You tipped a few back the night before?
Well, some days it was hard getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Did they ever complain when you were late?
All the time. Yeah, but I just went to Australia with Gene, and I made sure I was on time for everything.
Was he impressed that you had gotten your shit together a little bit at this stage in your
Well,
life?
after 12 years sober,
You would hope.
you would hope I'm going to be on time. I can read a clock.
Do you guys get along now?
Yeah, we were reminiscing on the tour, and he was kidding around with my wife Rachel, and we had a hell of a time. No negative vibes, all
Right.
positive. I opened for him, then he did an hour and a half, And I had to sit around backstage because he wanted me to come on and do Rock and Roll Night and Deuce with him.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't want to pass up that opportunity. So I just hung out in the green room or the blue room or the pink room.
Whatever color.
Yeah.
Jim, I noticed the way you said, "Oh, cool." As a fan, you would have been okay seeing that.
I would have been very, very happy.
You would have
to have seen them playing Deuce and Rock and Roll Night together. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's the confrontation like when you realize that your guitar solo has been replaced by some other guy
That was like in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a dead issue at this juncture.
But do you go to them and go like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Well, I complained about it, after the fact, but
They were like, "What do you want to do?"
well, how can I complain when I'm late and I'm loaded and
Yeah.
They're kind of right.
it's like, they at this point in my life, 12 years sober, I have no tolerance for drunk people.
Really?
You don't.
No tolerance.
So you can't sit there and be like, "That was me once. I get it." They don't know what they're doing.
I can't handle it.
Well, how about when
That's
the drunk
hilarious.
guy comes up to you, Ace, I fucking started playing guitar.
I go, get the fuck away from me.
Do they give you that when they start telling you how much you meant to them as when they were kids growing up and it's just a drunken mess?
Well, as long as they can put a sentence together, I'd give a response. But if it's one of those slurred, blurred, can't do it.
You can smell it on them. You
Yeah.
can smell it on their breath, or they're sweating it out.
Yeah, like when I'm doing VIPs backstage when I'm on the road, sometimes the breath coming off some of these guys, try to move them out as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Have you had guys cry when they meet you?
Who?
Have you had guys cry when they meet you?
I've had guys cry. I've had guys kiss me.
Oh.
And it was really strange. Some guy goes, "Can I hug you?" And I said, "Okay, I guess." Next thing you know, he's kissing me
On the lips?
on the side of
All
the
right,
cheek.
I've got a few cheek kisses too.
Have you?
Yeah.
You get that?
Oh yeah. I don't
bless it.
like your surprise on that too. That people
Yeah.
kiss you?
He couldn't even believe there were meet and greets for you.
No, well, they're usually not sold out, Ace. If you want to come, I would say I've had one guy cry when he met me, just once. It was outside a club, and it was very odd.
Yeah. You didn't know. How do you handle it?
I just try to talk to him. I'm like, this is the same type of mentality guy would pull out a pistol.
Yeah.
Fucking scared me.
It's okay, bud. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here right now.
Yeah, it's a little frightening. So, how long were you in Australia?
We were there for about 5 days. We did 4 shows, and then Gene was supposed to subsequently come to Japan with me, and then he decided to cancel.
Oh.
So I took his backup band, and I did 8 shows in Japan, and that was very successful. and
Wait,
went
he was
over
going to go
well.
with wait, you went on his tour and then he canceled going on yours? Or it was supposed to be his shows?
In Japan.
No, actually, he was just doing one vault experience in Tokyo, and somehow it didn't pan out, or something was pressing at home. I never got an answer why, but
Those were those experiences when you bought remember the big box set
Yeah, of course.
that Gene was in here
Yeah.
to promote? He's going around.
the safe.
Delivers it
the
personally.
giant safe.
I used mine as a coffee table.
Did he give it to you, or did he at least give you a discount?
He gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's nice
That's
of
very
Gene.
nice of Gene. But so he flaked on Japan, and you went over with his band.
Yeah. And, we did 8 shows and had a great time. And then I decided, maybe it's time to use these guys, in lieu of my old band.
How does your old band feel about that?
They're a little upset.
But you just dumped them for James' band?
Kind of.
Now, is it because are these guys better or are they just newer?
They're better in the sense that they're more hungry. Everyone sings lead. They really nail all the parts musically. And they pick up the phone.
Wait, your guys don't pick up when you call?
A lot of times, no.
But this would be like if Jim, if you and I went and were guests on Jason Ellis's radio show, and then we came back with his staff and just told our guys to beat it.
Beat it.
We got a whole new staff. I've never heard of the entire band being replaced with Gene's band, especially because you go over there and they're like, okay, he's going over there with Gene's band. And then you come back and they're just all replaced. They're like,
it wasn't a big deal with Chris Wise because he's been working with the Hollywood Vampires playing bass.
Mhm.
And he's also been doing some solo shows with Joe Perry. He's one of the most sought out bass players in Los Angeles. So He was pretty cool about it. My drummer Scott Coogan, he didn't take it too well.
How did you tell him?
What?
How did you tell him?
I told him I was moving on with Gene's cover band, and I'm not going to need you anymore at this juncture. And he goes, Ace, come on. What are you talking about? He goes, I'm a rock star. You're losing a rock star. I said, okay, whatever you say. Then he's hitting me up for money, and but the hardest thing for me was calling Richie Scarlett, because his wife, just passed away, and I knew she was, didn't have very much time to live, because she had Lou Gehrig's disease, and there's no cure. So I was procrastinating for a week not to call him. Finally, I got enough guts up to call him, and he was like so drained, because he'd been at the hospital every day, so on and so forth. But after I told him, he just couldn't grasp it with everything else surrounding his, what he was going through. So he pretty much hung up on me, but I've known Richie the longest, 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I let a day or two go by, and I called him back one evening a couple of days ago, and we made up. He apologized for hanging up on me. We discussed and reminisced about old times. He reminded me that I dated his wife before he did.
You didn't
You didn't
remember?
He said no.
Well, I kind of,
But not really.
Yeah.
She was a wonderful woman and really enjoyed life, and her and Richie had so much fun together, and I've met so many people. To make a long story short, he decided, Ace, whatever's best for you, I want you to go ahead and do it, And then I decided to pay for half the funeral.
But your drummer's still pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going up to speak at the funeral today.
Oh,
His
wow.
wife's funeral?
It's between 4 and 8 o'clock, so I'm going to start heading up from the city a little after 4.
So there was no way you could have just kept one or two of those guys in the band and then used a couple of people from Gene's band. It was kind of all of these guys or all of these guys.
Well, these guys from Nashville, they're a unit, It's like all or nothing. And they're terrific, I mean, I remember doing 2,000 Man in Tokyo, and I with my old band, I mean, they were great live and great musicians in their own right, but the vocals weren't always there because they're not all lead singers. All this new band is all lead singers. So all of a sudden, I'm playing 2,000 Man, and when the band kicks in, I'm hearing the 3-part harmony that I haven't heard since I was with Kiss.
Because your band wouldn't. How many people would chime in your band as opposed to 3?
Well, it just wasn't there. Chris Wise, I love him. He's one of the greatest bass players in the world, but he's really not a lead singer. Scotty's the only really lead singer.
The drummer?
Yeah.
And he's still in the band?
He's the
No,
Jim.
he's
If
not.
you remember, the drummer's not that happy.
He was
about
very
it.
displeased.
He's still. He hasn't made up with the drummer.
Well, are you good at firing people? It seems
No,
like that's
I hate it.
Right.
It's hard to do.
You know
right?
who really hates it? That old drummer of
He
yours.
hates
He
it.
really. He doesn't like it at all.
It's I don't actually like being a boss. I remember the days I was in Kiss where I didn't have to get involved with the business that often.
That was Gene and Paul, right? They were more in
They
charge.
were more business orientated, when me and Peter were more party orientated, and I didn't really have to. I didn't fire anybody. I don't think.
Is this the first time in your life you had to fire people?
No, well, a little earlier on in my career,
Just solo band stuff.
I had a bass player back in the '80s who had sex with my wife. So
Wow.
I think it was time for him to go.
Hold on.
Did you fire the wife too?
Yeah, did you get divorced or did you stay with her?
I'm with Rachel now. So.
Oh, so you got rid of her. How did you find out? And was it while you were still married?
I don't remember exactly who told me. Somebody may have tattled on him in the band, or Jeanette admitted it, whatever.
Oh wow! So you called him? Did he deny it at first?
I just said, hit the road, brother.
You didn't even want to hear his story.
I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to rehash it. I just said, it's over.
Did you talk to Jeanette about it?
Yeah.
Like, why'd you have sex?
I mean, she was upset and sorry, but, I mean, I'm not perfect. I've had numerous affairs.
You have.
So you've strayed occasionally.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a woman and not remembered dating her?
It's the weirdest thing that happens to me at parties.
What's that?
Girls come up to me, and they're a little older,
Mm-hmm.
and they go, "Hi, remember me?" And my first question is, "Did I fuck you?" I just wanted to get that out of the way, and then we can further, continue our conversation.
'Cause
But
you don't
I
wanna
want to know because I can't remember. I was loaded.
You don't want to be wondering the whole conversation that I fucked this
Right.
person.
So when people ask you, like, "Hey, how many women have you been with?" You go, "How would I possibly know the answer to that question?"
Well, nowhere near the amount Gene's been with.
Is Gene's number true, or does he
he
heighten
pad
that?
the
No,
stats?
it's true. I
It
was
is.
there. I mean, we had a place called the Chicken Coop, which was nicknamed. It was just a hospitality suite where we'd have girls waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go in there, have a few hors d'oeuvres, and then once some girl that I connected with, I take her back to my room. But one girl.
Right.
Gene would go grab a girl, spend an hour in his room, go back to the hospitality suite for seconds and thirds.
Wait, the girls
Wow.
would still be there? That's the amazing part. They'd still be at the hospitality suite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
hoping.
really hoping for I'll come in.
And then
Second and third place is still good.
And then eventually the roadies would end up with the stragglers, the ones left behind.
That are just hanging on.
So wait, was this room? Would you guys go in right after the show when you were all sweaty? Would you shower?
No, we'd shoot back to our rooms, jump in the shower, get dressed nice with a jacket or a suit even.
So,
Take the makeup off.
Oh, yeah.
but this was in the days where you guys were very protective about the makeup. But I guess it was not.
No cell phone
Nobody
cameras.
had cameras and stuff
There
like
was
that.
no cell phones.
Right. So you could
Nobody
get a.
was taking pictures.
So did people? But did the girls all like know for sure that you were who you said you were? Because nobody knew what you looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same hair, the same build.
Now, would you ever go into these rooms and like there'd be guys hanging out in there that were just like fans of yours, going like, "What the
Guys
what do you-"
weren't, no, the bodyguards wouldn't let guys in.
They wouldn't. It was all girls.
Well, see, during the course of the show, we'd point out girls in the
I see.
audience
Not-
to our bodyguards, and they would invite them back to the hospitality
You made
suite.
sure that none of the girls had boyfriends, though, right?
Oh, I didn't care.
Yeah, you just didn't want them back there, cock blocking.
Right. So a guy could theoretically take his girlfriend to a Kiss show, and if she got the finger point of doom, that was it for him. Sorry, bud.
Shit happens.
Did anybody strike out in the hospitality suite? Did any of you
Oh,
guys
what
ever
a
go
great
in there
question.
and not get laid?
Oh no.
Like, was there ever a time that Peter went in there or Paul and like nobody wanted to fuck them?
Yeah, I'm here for Paul,
No,
not
that-
you, or what? Yeah.
They knew why they were there.
They knew.
It was. That's why I don't understand the whole Bill Cosby thing. I mean, if a girl's in a celebrity's room,
Yeah.
hotel room, what do they expect is going to happen?
Well, I guess they're expecting to at least remain conscious.
Yeah, they probably don't expect to be drugged.
Yeah, like
knocked out.
They probably don't think that Cosby's going to knock them unconscious and then have sex with them while they're unconscious.
Yeah.
That was a big issue.
I
there.
never did that, and
That's good to hear, Ace.
That's
That's really good to hear.
I never forced myself on a woman because I never
God.
had to.
Right.
Yeah, and when
Right.
you're one of the four guys in Kiss, you probably don't have to do a lot of forceful things to get laid.
No, but I got a kick out of the girls in the South because sometimes they find out my room, and I hear a knock on the door, and they go, "Ice." Ice. I go, "The ice machine's down the hall," because they pronounce ace, ice.
So would you ever? So you're sitting there. You've already been to the hospitality room. You think the evening's over, right?
Yeah.
You're ready to go to bed,
Yeah, like 4 o'clock in the morning.
and then there'd be a knock on the door.
Yeah.
And would you respond to those knocks and be like, "All right, one more. All right."
Usually I wouldn't respond, but I'd come to the door and look through the peephole, and then I heard some girl say, "Ice."
Right. Right.
So Gene would go back in there for seconds and thirds in the hospitality
Yes.
room.
Absolutely.
I
Wow.
respect that.
Wow.
How about Paul?
Paul pretty much was more like me. You know, he was happy with one girl.
And Peter?
But yeah, I think we were all happy to be with just one pretty girl. You know, Gene,
Well, Gene didn't drink a lot, right?
He didn't drink at all.
Right.
Gene didn't drink at all.
So he was not inebriated, so he needed the sex to just,
Yeah.
be his entertainment for the whole evening.
Well, Gene has had a love affair with women since he was young.
Now, were you all wearing condoms?
I hate them. I hate them.
So you were fairly promiscuous.
Raw dogging.
raw dogging.
Let me tell you what happened. In the 70s, it was wonderful.
Right.
When the 80s hit and AIDS hit,
Mm-hmm.
I slowed down a lot.
You
Yeah,
did.
because you didn't want them to call you Space AIDS.
Space AIDS. Well, I'll forget you said that.
No.
But you weren't wearing condoms in the 70s a lot of times. Just kind of enjoy it.
A lot of times.
I never wore condoms. I hate
You hated them.
it. It's like putting a condom on your tongue and trying to tongue kiss with a girl. Give me a break.
That's
Yeah.
a good analogy.
Yeah.
Did you ever contract a sexually transmitted infection?
Well,
I mean, they're treatable, so it's not a big deal. Just out of curiosity.
yeah. I mean, I've caught a couple over the years, but once or twice.
They go
three
away.
times, and and then you get
It's
a
a
shot.
pretty good record.
You get a shot of penicillin. But, once that happened, we used to go and get shots of penicillin every month just to prevent it from, grabbing a hold of you.
And
That's
crabs.
smart.
I read something where you guys would get crabs, and it would
Well,
be.
Gene got crabs all the time. I don't know why. And unfortunately, in the beginning, we put all
Gene
our
had a lot of hair.
we put all our leather outfits in one crate.
Oh.
So the crabs would go from one outfit to the other, and next thing you know, I wake up and I'm scratching. I'm going, what the hell's going on?
So you'd be on stage and you'd have crabs in your fucking.
gear.
Yeah, but then the next day we go and get that lotion you put on.
No problemo.
The medicated lotion. Who's that?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Steve Marriott.
Who's that?
Who's that, Jim? You don't know who that is?
Humble Pie.
Humble Pie.
I did not recognize the name.
Come
The
on, Jim.
medicated lotion
Shun.
and
Yeah.
put good.
You know who that was?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. He didn't know who that was.
I don't need no doctor.
Yeah.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
I was there when they recorded live at the Fillmore.
That's awesome.
Where was it?
What would you?
Beautiful thing.
Where-
I'm going to Vegas after I get back out of New York to do. I'm going to be walking people down the aisle.
What do you mean?
Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm doing a Q&A and a signing at the Kiss Mini Golf at the Rio Hotel in Vegas. And then the organizer called me up a couple of weeks back, and he goes, would you like to be the best man at somebody's wedding and walk the girl down the aisle?
You're giving away the bride.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I said, how much? And it was a big number. So I said, okay. How long will it take? He goes, 15, 20 minutes. I go, that works for me.
I imagine you got to pay a lot to get Ace Frehley to walk your bride down the aisle.
I would imagine, but it would be worth it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, do you get like weird offers like that to do shit that has nothing to do with Kiss? Like it's because you were in Kiss or because you're Ace, but other stuff to do?
Strange things have happened, but I'd rather not go into them right now.
Well, I imagine a lot of guys ask you if you want to have sex with their wives. Even I've gotten that, and if I get that, I know you get that.
asked me to have sex with his wife?
I wish it was Jim Norton Sr.
Sebastian Bach.
Is that right?
His current wife?
No, his old one.
Did you?
No.
Why
Why?
not?
Because I love Sebastian.
But he asked you to have sex with his wife.
Well, I mentioned to him, I said, I think your wife's beautiful. And he goes, you can have her if you want. I go, no. I got plenty of women. Don't worry about it. But,
That's very good of
It
Sebastian.
was
What a nice
really-
guy.
Yeah.
he's really gentlemanly of him. And but I didn't take it up on it because I didn't want to.
Gentlemanly of both of you, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Well,
You're a good guy. Now, let me ask
I knew him before he was in Skid Row.
Oh, so you
I
go
met
back.
him up. I met him up in Canada. He was only 19 or something, and then lo and behold, 2 or 3 years later, he was the lead singer in Skid Row, and I got a call from Ed Trunk. You got to see this band. The lead singer's amazing. I go, what's his name? Sebastian Bach. I go, I know him.
Yeah. And then go forward even more, you were turning down having sex with his wife.
Well,
It's-
it only happened once, and he almost said it jokingly, but
Mhm. But it wasn't. It could have happened.
Well, imagine if he
it
was
could
just.
have happened if I pressed it.
Imagine if he was joking. But it's embarrassing if he was joking and you took him up on, like, all right, I'll fuck her. And be like, I'm kidding, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Except you're such a Kiss fan, he'd be like, okay, all right. Now, did you know the guy you're sitting next to, Jim Norton? One of the most fascinating things, we're talking about crabs, and one of the most fascinating things that I find about Jim, I've never met a guy, and you tell me if this has ever happened to you. Forget about Jim. Has this ever happened to you? Where you'll have intercourse with a woman, she'll give you crabs, you'll use the lotion, you'll fix everything. And 7 days later, you go back and have sex with the same woman, you get crabs again. Has that ever happened?
No,
No.
because I wouldn't go for the second time
I
around.
went back and double dipped, and I wanted to confirm that she gave me crabs. And as soon as we fucked, I pulled one of those little jokers out. I'm like, yep, it was her.
Well, I guess she was a good lay.
She was, and I did not have a lot of choices at that age.
I understand.
What would you use? That Rid medication, and then you got to comb the eggs out of
it
your
was
pubes?
I think it was called Rid. We don't want to plug any products, do we?
No, it
Not
doesn't
unless we're
matter.
getting paid. Would you endorse an anti-crab medication if the money was right?
Okay. There's probably several out there, but I haven't even heard about anybody getting crabs in a long time.
Because
No, you don't
everybody
really hear
shaves
about
now.
it.
I shave my pubes. I don't have pubes
I
anymore.
don't think as
Most
many
people do.
guys shave as you think they do, Jim.
And you don't hear much about AIDS. I remember in the 80s, it was like, people were dropping like flies.
Yeah.
But, obviously the pharmaceutical companies have, helped out in that end.
Yeah, they have a way now where if you get it, it's not necessarily a death sentence. You can kind of,
Yeah.
Magic Johnson has been taking that cocktail since, 1992?
I had a tour manager who passed away from AIDS.
Wow.
But, he pitched for the other team, and, it's Russian roulette back then.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
behaving a little risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big chance. Your Ace has a new, I don't even like to say album anymore. I guess it's a new CD. It's just called Spaceman.
No, it's an album. We just shipped 8,000 units of vinyl.
Oh, it is. All right. It just feels weird to say album.
CD doesn't make you sound any more relevant.
No, did I say CD?
You said, I don't like to say album anymore.
I
We'll
was
just
gonna
say
say-
CD.
yeah,
Why don't
sure.
you just say record?
Because that was my first thing, but that even sounds older than album.
You can say album.
All right, Ace has a new record called Spaceman. Gene considered now this disc. We'll just keep it vague.
There's a new musical collection being released by Ace. For you.
And Gene is on this. Do all of you guys get along now, or is there any does Peter still talk to everybody? Does anybody not talk?
Everybody talks.
All right, because I still want a picture with all four of you together, and I've had enough of this.
I find it amazing how the media blows
Right.
these negative things out of proportion. When I called Paul, 18 months ago or 2 years ago, to sing on Fire and Water, it was just like I had spoken to him, 10 years ago. It didn't matter. Time doesn't really affect the fact that the four of us had this, collective thought to do this amazing group and design the makeup. And I mean, look, it's just gone on forever. But I called Paul and I said, hey, I'm doing a album of covers. Would you like to sing one of them? And he originally said, My Generation. And I said, I love that song, but I don't think it should be touched.
Mhm.
But I knew he was a big Paul Rogers fan. So the next day I called him, we were both snowballing. And I said, what about Fire and Water?
Spitballing, Ace. You were not snowballing with Paul. If you were, that's my
I
favorite.
snowball.
That's-
You spit.
That's my favorite Kiss story ever. If you
Yeah.
and Paul are snowballing,
Would you snowball with the members of
Look,
Kiss?
I had
You
some
bet I
brain.
would.
I had brain damage from all the drugs. Cut me some slack.
Oh, that's a great story.
Snowballing.
Yeah,
with,
Kiss and Paul
yeah.
were snowballing. So you're spitballing, and you came up with a Paul Rogers song.
Spitballing doesn't sound right to me.
Spitballing snowballing
Is it?
sounds great. Yeah,
Snowballing sounds better.
I'll
Then,
accept
yeah,
it.
be you.
So you and Paul were snowballing, and then you came up with, and you came up with a song. What's the longest any of you guys have gone without talking? What was was it 10 years or 5 years?
Oh, I don't think so. If I didn't talk to Paul for 10 years and called him up, he'd just say, "Hey, Ace, what's happening?"
Yeah.
It's like that. Same with Gene, same with Peter.
What are the odds that the four of you end up together in a room? That's the question, because Jim had the opportunity.
And do what?
Whatever it is.
Take a photo with Jim Norton. That's all.
Yeah, that really is all we need.
Snowball if you want.
I think it's conceivably possible.
Okay, that's better news than you've heard in the past. Jim.
It is, yeah, because Tom Morello said you guys will never be in the same room again. Because I was going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction just to get a photo with all four of you guys.
We were all together.
You were, yeah, but I didn't do it because I had a gig and I couldn't cancel the gig, which was stupid of me.
And he regrets. He talks about it all the time. He regrets it ever since because he doesn't have a photo with all four of you guys together. And Norton's the biggest Kiss fan in the world. So, to hear you say it's conceivably possible.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a step in the right direction.
For the last 6 months or the last year, whenever Paul's been asked, "Are you ever going to play with Ace again?" He said, "Absolutely not. The past is the past, but now we're in the future."
I think we asked him that and he said the same thing.
No, yeah, you may have, but like last week, somebody asked him if I was going to be involved with the End of the Road tour, and he said I wouldn't rule it out.
Oh,
Hey.
with the End of the Road. Oh, is there going to be?
I mean, what does that mean? I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
That's not saying no.
That's right.
Well, and now would Peter be involved with that? Can he still play?
Peter can still play. I don't believe he could do a 2-hour show, but Peter could definitely come out at the end and do Beth and Black Diamond and one or two others.
Would he do that? I mean, Bill Ward was insulted, I think when
he'd
Sabbath
be-
suggested that.
If he was asked to do it and he didn't do it, I think he'd be really silly. He's like 72 now, and it would be his last hurrah.
Yeah, that's one of those opportunities you can't. You
Yeah.
shouldn't say no to.
I
mean,
Some
I'm not-
people do because of pride,
I'm not
but
crazy about the whole concept of doing. I did a reunion tour 15 years ago, but
you guys got to do another one.
I would not turn it down because of my fans. I know the fans want it more than anything.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are the people that put us up on the pedestal, and they're the ones that bought us our beautiful homes and cars and you name it.
And, gave you crabs and all that other stuff, too.
Just a couple.
So now that you're married, obviously, you're happily you're married. Do you miss that at all? That crazy life?
No, I've done it all. I have no regrets. My sponsor in AA said to me, you shouldn't have regrets about anything you've been through, even if they were major mistakes, because you had to get through those to get to where you are today. You had to get certain stupid things out of your system that you did. So I don't really regret anything I did. I don't regret quitting the band twice, because I needed to get away. I needed to get my head screwed on straight. And, here I am today, and my career's going onwards and upwards. So
I was watching old footage. There was an old Detroit Rock City from like '76, a live version.
yeah.
And it was from Japan, and I'm watching it, and they're all just sitting there. Nobody, and weren't they notorious for that in
audience?
Japan? Yeah,
Yeah.
They were like, at that point, they were all very polite. They would literally just sit there and applaud in between your songs.
That's the way they used to be. I mean, I just played Tokyo, and they were up on their feet going crazy.
That's off-putting, though, isn't it? When you're playing Kiss songs.
It was before Tokyo was westernized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it tough, though, to be up there and be like, are we bombing right now? Like, are they not feeling these songs? Or are you prepared enough to go like, okay, they're going to just sit there. This is just what they do. They're
We
enjoying.
didn't take it as an insult initially because we were told that's just the way their audiences are. I'm sure a lot of the girls got wet in the pants.
Right. Well, you probably know that because I'm sure even
Yeah.
in Tokyo there was a hospitality room.
There was,
There
a
was a chicken
coop.
coop.
No, actually, I've never had sex with a Japanese girl
What?
in Japan.
Why?
Wait.
Every time I've been there, I've either been with my wife or a girlfriend. So,
You've never had sex with a Japanese girl in Japan, but you've had sex with Japanese women.
In America, yeah.
Right.
You have,
Okay.
You have, but you would always bring somebody. Isn't that kind of a bad move to bring somebody on the road?
Yes and no.
Don't bands have rules about that? No
it de-
wives?
It depends your mindset, and a lot of bands have their own bus and take their family on the road. Every guy in the band has his own bus. It depends who you are and how much money you have, and what you can afford.
How were you guys doing that at the end when you were doing the reunion tour? Were you doing? Everyone had their own bus.
No, we had a jet. We had a G3, seated like 20 people. But I had a girlfriend with me on the tour for the first 9 months, and
Then what happened?
she had to go to rehab. But she's a sweetie now. She's a yoga teacher, and she's sober and has a beautiful daughter. And
But the tour sent her to rehab.
well, she had the problem before
Sure.
she got on the tour, so it just
Was it exasperated?
it was accelerated.
Accelerated is the word.
Is there ever a point where, like, especially when you guys are younger, there's 4 of you, you all have different women all the time, where a girl's acting crazy or being fucked up backstage or on the plane, and just like, oh, he's got a nut with him.
It happens.
Are you embarrassed by it?
Well, none of the girls I was ever with lost it in front of the band. They knew their place, so
That's good.
they
If
were-
Gal
they were wonderful.
if Gal Gadot comes to you now and she's wearing the Wonder Woman outfit and everything, and she says she's got this
Don't ask me this
this
question.
kiss
because
fantasy.
I'm gonna get in trouble with Rachel.
Nah, she's not listening.
she's not
busy.
listening. She's busy doing 100 other
Someone
things.
will hear this and tell her.
But
Don't
that
ask me that.
that would be a difficult one for you to be like, you know what, I'm in a monogamous relationship right now. I mean, the old Ace might have to come out at that point. Yes.
I plead the fifth.
How about if she said this?
Okay.
How about if she said, "Look, I heard that you're a fan of my film, and I appreciate that. I'm a big Kiss fan. I'd like you to hold my breasts. Just hold them."
Just hold.
I think I could muster enough energy to do that.
Let's just say if you were a single man, okay,
If you were single.
and you had the opportunity
Oh
to be with Gal Gadot sexually, do you think you'd wear protection?
no. She looks like a pretty clean lady.
You can always tell.
Yeah. She looks like a pretty clean lady.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me ask you this. Back
well,
in your,
you know the old secret. Once you use the finger and then you go like this,
Oh, the hug and kiss. You take a
Yeah.
sniff.
and then
you can always smell it on him.
if it stinks,
Yeah.
NG.
See, I always put in my fist, and I put in my fist, and I smell the elbow.
Has the
Oh my! The elbow.
has the finger smell technique ever steered you wrong?
Not till this day.
Has it ever guided you away from a lady
Yes.
Wow. Then you have to go back to the hospitality room. That's when you go back for seconds.
and find somebody else?
Yeah, you didn't complete your first meal.